And because fresh water, as I found out, is lighter than seawater. So basically, you can put a huge water train of 50 of these things, 100 football fields long, tow it across the ocean with our fresh water, and as one of our guests says, they're going to take our champagne water that's been in the ground for millions of years, which is this fresh, life-giving water. They can take that anytime they want, and we let them do it. The government lets them do it, put it in these giant water trains, 100 football fields long, and ship it to America's enemies, if that's what they feel like doing.
For $100 a year. Let me just finish these bullet points.
Sure, sorry.
No. I mean, you can tell we're both frothing here because this is so.
This one, and by the way, this one makes Jesse Ventura. This one made him so angry, and you'll see it on the screen.
I was with him in person in Austin after he got back from the Great Lakes, and I've never seen him turning red and grabbing my shoulder, going, "Alex, they're stealing it." I mean, he was frothing.
Yeah.
Oh, so he gets mad on the show then?
Oh yeah, because it's right there. People think that we hype this stuff up, as you said. It's right there. All you got to do is Google Stanwood, Michigan.
You can't hype up big enough them putting uranium in the water to literally destroy our sperm count, now down by 87%. You can't hype that enough.
Well, let's go to that a second. Again, you can Google this. Anybody can Google this. Male birth rates all around the world are dropping precipitously in some cases. And this goes across all species. This is not just human beings. Male birth rates, male fertility is dropping. This is a fact. This is a drop-dead fact. Now, why is that happening? Well, one of the reasons it's happening is uranium, even in trace amounts in the water, has a terrible effect on male fertility, terrible effect on testosterone. But what it does is it increases estrogen. So you have, all of a sudden, you have fish showing up all over the world, and especially here in the United States, too. You have fish showing up with both organs, with both male and female sex organs. You have otters. Don't ask me why it's otters, because I guess because they live in the water.
I can tell you why. Stay there. They're hermaphrodites now, because the alluvial... They're dumping all the water we've used into rivers. It's got the estrogen, the chemicals in it. The otters then eat shellfish where it precipitates. It bioaccumulates in the otters. Stay there. This is key intel. The radiation attack straight ahead. Male birth rates are dropping all over the world. Radiation exposure expert Lauren Murray states that uranium in our water is leading to mass feminization of the population, not to mention kidney and other failure. Pancreas is going out. I was watching the news this weekend. They estimate half the public by 2020 will have diabetes. In fact, guys, put up some of those mainstream headlines about Texas covering up the uranium. They're putting it in the water. Of course they're covering it up. There it is, a KHOU, a CBS Houston. I-Team says state lowballs radiation score in drinking water. And then we've got the other headlines. State and feds cover up uranium, radium, and other things in the water. Male birth rates are dropping. Big Brother wants you to be calm, docile. Government experts are advocating lithium in the water, municipal water districts. See, this is happening. Okay, please continue. Michael Braverman with this show coming up, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. The episode's called The Great Lakes, but it's a lot more than that, because what it was like for you once you started investigating lithium and uranium in the water, and the show takes a big turn.
Yes. I just want to say one thing. The new title of the show is The Worldwide Water Conspiracy. I know that's a little unwieldy, but that is the new title, The Worldwide Water Conspiracy. Why? Because it's bigger than the Great Lakes. It's worldwide.
I'm glad they changed that. Okay.
Yeah. So and now, Alex, you gave us the turn, one turn, and then I'm gonna go through this really quickly.
No, you got plenty of time. You've got the floor. Break down what they're putting in the water.
Okay. And I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to give you and your listeners something. I'll bet, Alex, you may not even know all this. And this, the thing I'm going to say in a second, is going to blow people's minds. And again, I'm not saying that with a hype. I'm not saying that as, some conspiracy kook. I'm saying this as a normal guy who got into this being a TV producer. Okay. Lithium is being advocated by our government, by Big Brother, to be put in the water in all municipal water supplies and bottled water. Now, why do they want lithium? Two reasons. One, because lithium is used to treat bipolar mental disorders, and what it does is it makes you calm, it makes you docile. again, more lithium in the water. Their argument is suicide rates go down, but the real argument, as far as I'm concerned, is Big Brother wants a docile population. And, if you're juiced up on lithium, the chances that you're going to actually take some action and actually think for yourself decrease, because you're on lithium, you don't care. And you can read this where government scientists, and it's all over the internet, are actually saying, let's put lithium in the water, because when you have trace amounts of naturally occurring lithium, they make this argument, which is completely bogus, that in those areas, one of which is in Texas, where you have naturally occurring lithium, crime rates and suicide rates go down. Which, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to look at that argument and call it for the BS that it is. Now, the second thing is what we learned on the show, which is lithium works with uranium. These two chemicals in a hydrology.
Water,
sorry. I'm so excited about this, it makes me crazy. They actually work, and they actually increase each other's efficacy. That's what happens.
Oh, it's all, look, sir, we have eco-science. They planned it all. The White House science czar. These people are pure evil. Absolutely. And I that's what Dr. Blaylock, brain surgeon, said, is that all these things work together, and that fluoride then activates and supercharges.
Absolutely. It's a slow poisoning.
But exactly, but the fluoride is an adjuvant, just like they add things to vaccines to supercharge them. Yep. The fluoride is the adjuvant that turbocharges it. But Michael, you've got the proof in here, and then now it's even in the news in Texas. But they say, oh, we don't know why uranium's there or why the state covers it up.
Yep.
Because they're adding it. Please continue.
Okay. Now I'm going to get to a part, and I'm going to preface this really quickly so your listeners understand this. True TV has this immense amount of courage to put this show on. Jesse Ventura has a huge amount of courage to put this show on. And I told you 2 weeks ago, there are people out there, there are forces out there, and I can't really say who they are, because, I have my own issues to protect. They do not want this show on the air. They want this show killed. The only way we keep this show alive is by people who want free information and people who are willing to expand their minds to watch the show. Now, all that being said, I'm going to tell you something that is not on the show. I can't tell you the reason it's not on the show, because, again, I have to protect my insiders. But this is going to blow your people's minds. And it's going to blow your mind, too, Alex. You may already know about this. You're talking about the New World Order. Everyone talks about the New World Order and the elites. It's right here in black and white, right on the Internet. There's a thing called the St. Lazare Foundation. It's based in Europe. It's run by the Duc d'Anjou. This is, it's called a military order. It started in the Second Crusades. They do lots of humanitarian stuff. They have meetings. It's really the royals of Europe, of a lot of the countries of Europe. It's international royalty, and it's a lot of sort of business royalty all over the world, or at least in the Western world, in Europe and the United States. Now, I'm going to read you from their website, which anybody can go on the net. If you just Google Order of St. Lazarus, water, you will see this. I'm going to read it. St. Lazare Investment Arm will be the largest owner of aquatic property, and thus will face the prerogatives of future international ecological policies from the point of view of an investor in the carbon finance marketplace. But wait, I'm not done. Now, again, I'm reading. These are quotes. Anybody can go and find this. Water will soon become an instrument of power and influence. I'm going to go on. The St. Lazare Foundation aims to become an essential global player specializing in water.
Wow.
Now, I'm not making this up. Anybody can go, again, I'm going to say it again, Order of St. Lazarus, water.
Now, that's like Order of the Garter. That's the royal families, and I didn't know this specifically, but I knew that they were involved in the carbon takeover,
sure,
and that their name had come up in association with what Lord Blackheath came out with in Parliament, that there's a secret, or in the House of Lords, a secret Foundation X setting up world government.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is part of it. This is all part of it. The World Society, they say it right here, is one of the world's most exclusive society. Again, I'm reading from the website. It comprises those men and women around the world who are part of the economic, financial, social, or cultural elite. It's right here. And then they say they want to become the essential global I'm giving this to you and to your listeners because you've been such a supporter of the show. This is the one that freaked me out. I mean, I couldn't sleep at night after reading this because they're not even hiding. The New World Order, the elites, are not even hiding. It's right there on the website. I'm not making this up. Anybody can go see it. Now, it's not in the show, and I can't tell you the reasons it's not in the show because, again, I have to protect my insiders, even though this is right out in public and they say it, but I had an inside source, and I have to protect that source, obviously, and, none of us want to get killed. But I just urge everybody to open their minds, go on the Internet, and read this stuff for themselves.
Absolutely. Now, shifting gears back into the uranium, get into what the uranium is doing in the water and how they're getting it into the water to combine with the lithium and the fluoride. Well,
some uranium is naturally occurring. Some of it is clearly pumped in. There's lots of ways where they do it. There are actually, in the city of L.A., when they lay new water pipes from the DWP, Department of Water and Power, some of these pipes have little chemical dispensers built right on the pipe, remotely activated. There could be nothing in them now. It would take almost nothing for a bunch of crews to go out and put trace amounts of uranium in those chemical dispensers.
Well, our research shows, and it's confirmed, this is hidden in plain view, that the phosphate mining out of limestone is where they get the sodium fluoride byproduct, and the EPA admits they're allowed to have certain amounts of other chemicals. And where do you mine the uranium? In the same limestone deposit, and that there is uranium in it. So when they add the so-called fluoride, it's got the uranium.
Well, here's something even scarier. A lot of depleted uranium weapons, as your listeners know, were used in both Middle East wars, in both Iraq wars.
Yes.
That depleted uranium gets picked up by the wind, gets picked up, it goes into the clouds, goes into the air currents, and gets dropped everywhere. So the fact is this stuff is basically falling on us if you follow the air currents all around the world. And again, what this uranium does, even trace tiny amounts, what it does. And our show has this woman, Lorraine Murray, who is a radiation researcher for public health and was kicked out of the Lawrence Livermore lab because she blew the whistle. And what this stuff does is this is feminizing our population. Male fertility, male birth rates, male characteristics are down all throughout the world. Terrifying.
And they're doing it, and will people listening to this go research that it's in the Texas newspapers, that there's all this uranium and other radioactive isotopes at levels that it shouldn't be? They're adding it to the water. I've covered it with Dr. Conant here on the air. This is the reality, and it is so important that when they try to say, hey, we're just putting fluoride in the water, it's good for you, even though they know it causes cancer and all the rest of it, and accelerates the effect of other toxins and poisons as an adjuvant. The key is they cannot sell people that mercury and lead and uranium is good, and that is being added along with the fluoride. It's all called fluoride, but it's just the toxic waste derivatives, and they allow it because it's overall to reduce fertility, as the book written 25 years ago by the White House science czar, John P. Holdren, wrote. Just amazing. Michael Braverman, God bless you. We appreciate your time here with us today, and we'll talk to you again in the very near future. Amazing information. Again, tomorrow night, True TV. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have cable or don't have it, get to your friends or family's house. Call everybody you know. We're going to have a big report out on this tomorrow at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com with the bullet points. The videos are going to be uploaded as well to PrisonPlanet.tv of what we covered here. Michael, we'll talk to you soon.
Alex, thanks again for having me on.
You bet. And then coming up the week after this, next week, is going to be the oil spill. So that's going to be powerful as well.